All right, let's talk about one of the most complicated relationships out there, the one between us, people, and the planet. It's this constant dance, a give and take that's full of incredible beauty, but also a whole lot of conflict and responsibility.
And that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? This is what we're really digging into today. Are our needs, human needs, ever more important than the needs of animals and the planet itself? There are no easy answers here, which is why we're going to look at some powerful stories and some hard data that really get to the heart of this tension.
So, to start, let's look at a couple of modern fables. These are powerful, almost haunting warnings about what can happen when we just don't see the full consequences of what we're doing.
Okay, let's dive into this one. In her amazing book, Silent Spring, Rachel Carson kicks things off by painting this absolutely perfect picture. Imagine a town right in the heart of America, just humming with life. You can almost feel it, right? The beautiful orchards, the sound of wildlife, this feeling of perfect harmony. It's the ultimate before picture.
And then it all falls apart. This weird sickness just descends on the town. Animals get sick and die. People start feeling ill. But the detail that really gets you, the one Carson describes so powerfully, is the silence. A spring without voices. All the birds that used to sing at dawn, they're just gone. And what's left is this eerie, empty quiet.
So what happened? Was it a curse? An enemy attack? Nope. And here's the gut punch. Carson tells us it wasn't witchcraft or war. The people, they have done it to themselves. It's a powerful, chilling story about how our own actions, even the ones we don't think about, can be so destructive.
And you see this same idea, these unintended consequences, in another fantastic story by Shinichi Hoshi. In it, some villagers discover what they think is a bottomless hole. I mean, perfect, right? A place to toss all their trash, nuclear waste, you name it. Out of sight, out of mind. Problem solved.
But the ending has this incredible twist. Years later, a worker is on top of a new skyscraper in the city, and he hears a faint shout coming from the sky above him. "Hey, come on out!" And then, a tiny little pebble falls past him. It's that first thing they threw in. It's a perfect, chilling reminder that there's no such thing as a way. What goes around literally comes around.
Okay, so those fables are pretty clear warnings. They feel kind of black and white. But what happens when the choices we face in the real world aren't that simple? When it's not just about being careless, but about two totally valid, even good, intentions smashing right into each other. To see just how complicated this can get, let's look at the story of the whooping crane. By 1941, the population had crashed from over 1,000 to 15. Just 15 birds left in the entire wild population. They were right on the edge of extinction, and this massive effort, Operation Migration, was launched to save them. And this is where it gets messy. On one side, you have these incredibly dedicated scientists working around the clock. They're even wearing crane costumes and flying with the birds in these little aircrafts, all to keep this new flock totally wild. But then, on the other side, the cranes start visiting the bird feeder of an elderly couple, the Gibbs. The scientists know this is a disaster for the project. But for Mrs. Gibbs, her husband has Alzheimer's, and watching those birds is the only thing that brings him any joy. And the whole thing just boils down to this one impossible question. This isn't a fight between right and wrong. It's a fight between two rights. Saving an entire species from extinction versus an act of profound love and compassion for a dying person. There's just no easy answer there. And this kind of dilemma, human need versus the planet's health, it doesn't just happen in one backyard. It scales up, way up. In his Nobel Prize speech, Al Gore put a number on it. 70 million tons. That's the amount of global warming pollution we were dumping into the atmosphere every single day, treating our sky, as he said, like an open sewer. So, given the scary warnings and these incredibly tough dilemmas, what do we do? What's the way forward? Well, this last part is all about our capacity for both. Our ability to restore and take responsibility, but also our tendency to just look away.
Let's start with some hope, because the comeback of the bald eagle in New York is an amazing story. I mean, look at this timeline. In 1975, there was only one single nesting pair left in the whole state. But then people decided to act. They brought in eaglets, they started this careful reintroduction program, and by 2008, 145 thriving pairs. It's proof that when we decide to fix something, we really can.
But that kind of focused, intentional action is often the exception, isn't it? This poem from Paul Laurence Dunbar, The Sparrow, it kind of captures the more common reality. We get so caught up in our own lives, in the traffic's rush and din, that we're just too busy to even notice the natural world right in front of us. And as the poem says, we often don't even know what we've lost until it's already gone. But maybe the path forward isn't just about acting or not acting. Linda Hogan's poem, Turtle Watchers, suggests something else, something deeper. She imagines a path where beings truly meet. It's this idea of connection, of a relationship that isn't about control, but about respect and just sharing the same space. So in the end, it really feels like the future isn't some set destination we're heading towards. It comes down to will. Al Gore quoted the poet Antonio Machado to say it perfectly. The path isn't just there for us to find. It's something we have to make with every single choice, every single step we take. And there's a real sense of urgency here. As Gore warns us, the future isn't some distant idea. It's here. It's now. It's knocking on our door, and it's demanding that we answer. And that leaves us with one final profound choice, framed perfectly by Al Gore. He said the next generation is going to ask us one of two questions. Will it be an accusation? What were you thinking? Why didn't you act? Or will it be a question filled with admiration? How did you find the moral courage to rise up and solve this? The path we're making right now, with every choice we make, well, that's what will decide their question. Thanks for joining this explainer.